As you might be aware, there are some elections taking place this year, very crucial 2026 midterms, and among those, the race for an open U.S. Senate seat in Illinois, thanks to the impending retirement of Dick Durbin. The Democratic primary is closely contested, but what about on the Republican side? We've already met one declared candidate, Don Tracy from downstate Springfield, and now we introduce you to another one, Jeannie Evans, who is from right here in Hyde Park. She is attorney, a longtime attorney here in Chicago. Jeannie Evans, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me here.
All right, when you look at the landscape here, this is a blue state. It's a midterm off year for the president's party, which typically means the party out of power does better. That would be the Democratic Party. So how do you get through those headwinds?
You know, I understand your point about often in the midterms this happens, but in Illinois, we're going to flip the script, because in Illinois, the problems are with one-party Democratic rule. We've seen, under one-party Democratic rule, we've seen high prices, we've seen high crime. They have not been these problems have not been solved by J.B. Pritzker. They have not been solved by Mayor Johnson. And members of the state of Illinois are looking for new leadership. They're looking for new answers. I'm bringing those answers, those conservative principles of reducing government, reducing regulations so that small businesses can thrive, helping to promote small businesses and promote job creation and growth for Illinois. That's what people are looking for.
And obviously the pocketbook issues drive most elections, but right now immigration is such a hot topic. Even today, the president threatening to invoke the Insurrection Act. Do you believe that's something the president should do to kind of centralize that kind of authority over what's happening in Minneapolis?
Look, I think that the issue of immigration is something the president has worked on. He's done successful work securing the border and stopping the flow of illegal immigration into our country, which is very important. The incidents that have happened in Minneapolis are very sad and very hard, but part of the problem is that local government leaders are encouraging people to combat against the federal officers. Like, we have immigration laws. We have to enforce our immigration laws, and leaders should not be telling people to take action to harm federal law enforcement officers.
Although what local leaders have said is film them, protest, express First Amendment rights, do it peacefully. They've not expressly condoned illegal actions or assault or anything like that. So where's the line here between the federal agents respecting the First Amendment, respecting the constitutional rights of people to protest, versus having to carry out these deportations?
Yeah, so it sounds like we agree that protesters should not take any physical action that puts federal officers in harm's way. They shouldn't be taking any illegal action to harm them, to injure them, and local law enforcement should protect them if they have need. Like, if they call for help, they should be backed up.
And that has been a big issue of contention here in Chicago for sure. Let me ask you this. Again, running as a Republican, it looks like the Republican Party is still, for the most part, in lockstep with President Trump, with some cracks in the foundation here. I want you to tell me the areas where you disagree with President Trump.
You know, I just want to say there are so many things that the president is doing that we need. We need to reduce crime levels in Chicago and Illinois. We need to reduce taxes and reduce the cost of living, and the president is working to do those things. I am ready to go to Washington and work with the president to do the things that the American people need, and that the people of Illinois need, to make our state more competitive with jobs, to make us safe, to make our community safe. I live on the south side of Chicago. I'm a mom. I have 4 children. My husband and I have raised our family in Chicago. They've attended Chicago public schools. We've participated in our church community, and we've had wonderful experiences, but I've also seen firsthand the devastating impact of crime. I've had too many friends who have lost loved ones, I've attended too many funerals, and we need to take action to make our community safe. And some of this crime is the result of failed leadership from the Democratic Party, and we need to change that.
And there certainly is a lot of discussion about what happens here on the local level in terms of folks being released from jail, but that's not necessarily a Washington issue so much as it is an issue here in Cook County. And at the same time, the mayor's talked about the fact that crime, although a persistent problem, is down violent crime at 1965 levels. So have they had some success, and what do you attribute that to, and what would you continue to make sure that that trend continues in that direction?
Again, yeah, at the federal level, I think we can have some influence. I would want to cooperate with, build cooperation between local and federal enforcement, and there is a lot more we can do. Our communities are not safe enough. We need to increase the presence of police officers in the streets. We know that the presence of more officers reduces crime. Even if arrests don't go down, just the presence reduces crime. And so that's something that we can do to make our community safe. And the people in my neighborhood, in the south side of Chicago, deserve that.
All right, Jeannie Evans running for Senate.
Yeah, United States
Senate here in the state of Illinois as a Republican, going up against Don Tracy in the GOP primary. We know on the Democratic side there are some hotly, there are many contestants, three top-tier candidates seeking that nomination. So it's going to be a slugfest. Thanks for being here.
Thank you so much for having me.
You bet.